Kia ora, and welcome to the July Jodcast from Space Place at Carter Observatory in Wellington, New Zealand. Jupiter is still high in our evening skies this month, midway up the northwestern sky after sunset. Shining at magnitude -2.1 with its bright golden glow, Jupiter will be the first star-like object you'll see as the sky begins to darken. Just above is bluish Spica, representing the ear of wheat held by Virgo. The waxing crescent moon will pass close to Jupiter on both the 1st and 29th of the month. Lower in the west, Mercury is making an appearance in the evening sky. At the start of the month it sets just an hour after the sun, but by the end of July, when it reaches its greatest elongation from the sun, it will remain in our skies until 8 p.m. On the 25th, Mercury will form a close group with Regulus in Leo and a thin crescent moon. Saturn is high in the northeast and is a great target for a telescope of any size, with its rings still at almost maximum tilt. Look out for Saturn's largest moon, Titan, looking like a star at around 4 times the ring diameter from the planet. Saturn continues to sit just below Antares in Scorpius, with the claws of the scorpion to the left and his tail curving around to the right. In New Zealand we see this as the fishhook of Maui, Te Mata o Maui. Below Scorpius is an upside-down teapot formed from the brightest stars in the constellation of Sagittarius. The bright centre of the Milky Way runs through Scorpius and Sagittarius, so there are many stunning objects to explore in this part of the sky. Lying along the tail of the Scorpion, close to the orange third magnitude star Zeta Scorpii, is NGC 6231, a bright cluster of stars which looks like a small comet. At magnitude 2.6, this is easily visible to the naked eye. Estimated to be only 3.2 million years old and nearly 6,000 light-years away, NGC 6231 covers an area of the sky similar in size to the Pleiades, but its stars are much more luminous. If the cluster was placed at the same distance as the Pleiades, then some of its stars would be amongst the brightest in the nighttime sky. With a good pair of binoculars from a dark side, NGC 6231 appears in an area of nebulosity and intermingled with open clusters Trumpler 24 and Colander 316 to form a lovely complex sometimes known as the Scorpius lizard. Also nearby is NGC 2642. With binoculars, its 3 brightest stars stand out from a faint background glow. A little above, NGC 6193 is also visible to the naked eye at magnitude 5.2, and nearby NGC 6167 is worth a look in binoculars or a small telescope. Below, about halfway between the scorpion's sting and the spout of the teapot, is M7. This is another open cluster of stars easily visible to the naked eye at magnitude 3.3, and a lovely sight through a good pair of binoculars. It contains about 80 stars brighter than 10th magnitude and covers an area of 1.3 degrees diameter. Current estimates suggest a distance of 980 light-years and an age of 220 million years old, still pretty young in astronomical terms. M7 has been known since ancient times and was first recorded by Ptolemy in 130 AD, who described it as a nebula following the sting of Scorpius. Because of this, it is also sometimes referred to as a Ptolemy cluster. Nearby and somewhat fainter, the Butterfly cluster, or M6, is also a nice sight in binoculars. The stars will all appear to be around the same brightness, and the open-winged shape that gives the cluster its name should be easy to pick out. To the left of the teapot spout, and just about visible to the naked eye, is another lovely Messier object, the Lagoon Nebula, or M8. This is a huge cloud of interstellar gas and dust, where new stars are being formed. M8 is a great example of an H2 region, where UV radiation from hot young stars is ionizing the leftover hydrogen gas and causing it to glow. These emission nebulae often appear pink in color photographs, and the Lagoon Nebula is a good target for binoculars or a small telescope. Another good target is the Triffids Nebula, discovered by Charles Messier in 1764, and famed for the 3-lobed appearance which earned it its name. It is an interesting object to observe, as it combines both an emission and reflection nebula along with an open cluster of stars. There are also a number of globular clusters in this part of the sky. The brightest is M4, and this is also one of the easiest to find, lying just 1.3 degrees west of Antares. Appearing as a small fuzzy ball in binoculars or small telescopes, a slightly larger telescope will begin to pick out individual stars. Also in this region near the top of the teapot is M22, one of the first globular clusters ever discovered in 1665, and one of the closest at just 10,600 light-years. From its bright centre, the Milky Way stretches overhead through Crux, the Southern Cross, and onto Carina, Vela and Puppis above the southwestern horizon. Together, these three constellations make up the great ship Argo Navis, famous in Greek mythology as that used by Jason and the Argonauts in their quest for the Golden Fleece. Just to the left of the Milky Way is Carina's brightest star Canopus, or Alpha Carinae, the second brightest in the nighttime sky. Its Maori name is Atutahi or Autahi, which means to stand alone, because of its position just outside the band of our galaxy. In the other direction, the Milky Way drops down to the eastern horizon and the bright star Altair in the constellation of Aquila, the Eagle, which rises around 9 p.m. at the start of the month. In the morning skies, our last visible planet, brilliant Venus, rises after 4 a.m. Venus is so bright that you can really only mistake it with the headlights of an aeroplane, and it provides a useful pointer to help find Matariki or the Pleiades as the cluster rises before dawn. Venus sits just above Matariki at the beginning of the month, but slowly moves down between Matariki and Taurus's brightest star Aldebaran as the month progresses, sitting just below Aldebaran on the morning of the 18th. Wishing you clear skies from the team here at Space Place at Carter Observatory.